On April 3, 2026, a 73-year-old retired postal employee named Donald Meacham entered a Chase branch in suburban Philadelphia, withdrew $47,000 in physical cash, drove 6 blocks to a digital currency machine inside a service station, and inserted every single bill into the terminal. By the time his daughter contacted him that evening, those funds had passed through 3 blockchain accounts and reached an overseas exchange balance that no American authority could freeze, reverse, or trace. $47,000 lost in under 90 minutes. And Donald Meacham is not an impulsive individual. He maintained a federal security clearance for 22 years. He balanced his checking ledger every Sunday morning. He believed the individual on the phone because that caller possessed his social security number, his bank routing details, and the exact balance in his savings account down to the penny. What occurred to Donald Meacham is currently happening to nearly 14,000 American seniors every single month. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center recorded $1.3 billion in digital currency scam losses targeting adults over 60 in 2025 alone. That total is expected to hit $1.9 billion by December of this year. But here is what most individuals have not heard. The American Bankers Association, the FDIC, and individual financial institutions across 37 states have now issued formal notices to clients over 65 regarding 5 specific actions that are getting balances drained, frozen, or flagged for official inquiry. Not tips, not advice. Formal consumer safety alerts backed by recorded scam cases from the first 6 months of 2026. I reviewed every one of them, and I am going to explain all 5 right now because the next Donald Meacham might be someone sitting in your living room tonight. My name is Marcus Whitfield. I spent 20 years as an IRS-enrolled tax professional. What I track on this channel is precisely this type of information. New risks, new rules, new protections, before they turn into a permanent loss for you or a family member. Let us start with the alert that is draining balances in a matter of hours, and it does not involve your phone, your computer, or the internet whatsoever. The first formal notice involves a physical mechanism that bad actors are attaching inside ATM cash dispensers in at least 14 recorded cities as of May 2026. Philadelphia, Houston, Sacramento, Tampa. The tactic is mechanical, not digital, and that is exactly what makes it so dangerous for older adults who assume their primary risk comes from online sources. Here is precisely how it works. A small piece of equipment, roughly the size of 2 stacked payment cards, is inserted into the cash retrieval slot. That is the opening where your money exits following a withdrawal. You swipe your card, you enter your code, you request $200.
The system handles the request. Your balance is debited $200.
The bills are dispensed internally by the machine's mechanism, but the capture device traps those bills in a hidden compartment before they reach the opening where your hands would take them. Your display shows transaction complete. No cash comes out. You believe the terminal malfunctioned. And here is the choice that determines everything. You walk away. Perhaps you think you will call the institution later. Perhaps you attempt the request again at another terminal. The moment you leave, the individual who installed the mechanism steps up to the ATM, extracts the trap along with your money, and leaves. In recorded incidents, several of these individuals have returned to the exact same terminal 4 and 5 times in a single afternoon, taking cash from multiple users. The United States Secret Service Financial Crimes Division and the ABA both published warnings regarding this specific tactic in February 2026. It is not an upcoming threat. It is happening right now. A woman named Shirley Okafor in Houston lost $600 across 3 distinct attempts at the same tampered ATM before she identified the issue. She assumed the first failure was a system error. The second made her anxious. By the third, her balance was down $1,800, including penalty fees. Here is precisely what you do if this occurs. If you finish a transaction and bills fail to exit, do not step away from that ATM. Remain at the terminal. Grab your mobile device while standing at that precise spot. Call the customer service contact listed on your debit card and inform the staff member that your transaction reflects as complete, but no bills were released. Request that they mark the transaction immediately and record the exact time and spot. Your physical presence at the terminal, combined with the instant call, generates a documented paper trail that significantly increases your chances of reversing the deduction. The mechanism only works if you depart. Stay. Place the call. Do not leave until you have communicated with the institution. I want you to keep Shirley Okafor's name in mind because she appears later in this video, and what happened next will alter how you view who you trust inside a branch. The second alert from the ABA's official 2026 Consumer Guide uses language that is firm. Your debit card or payment card never leaves your hands at an ATM. Not to a stranger offering assistance. Not to anyone claiming the system is confusing. Not to anybody standing beside you, regardless of how polite, professional, or elderly they appear. The reason this rule exists in such strict terms involves two mechanisms. The first is called a reader. It scans the magnetic stripe along the back of your card. The second is its 2026 upgrade, known as a shimmer. It is tiny enough to fit inside the card slot itself, and it scans your security chip, the chip that was meant to make fraud harder. Either mechanism captures every bit of data stored on your card in under 3 seconds of contact. 3 seconds. Someone holds your card, hands it back, smiles, and departs. You feel nothing. You notice nothing. Your card appears completely normal, but within 48 hours, a copied version of that card is making charges in another state. A retired electrician named George Hadley in Sacramento gave his card to an individual who offered to assist him with a new ATM interface at his credit union. The individual held the card for about 4 seconds, appeared to check the card reader, handed it back, and left. George completed his withdrawal without issue. 11 days later, $3,200 in purchases appeared on his billing statement from a Target in Reno, Nevada. George has never visited Reno. If you face trouble operating an ATM, if the buttons are tiny, the display is hard to see, or the layout has changed, the proper step is to enter the branch and ask an official bank employee at an active service desk. Not a bystander in the parking area, not someone waiting behind you, an official worker behind the counter, inside the building, at their desk. If anyone near an ATM reaches toward your card, grab it and step inside. Do not explain, do not apologize. Just walk away. Now, if this detail is causing you to reflect on your recent ATM visits, I need you to press the like button right now. Not for me, but because the algorithm uses that action to share this video with other older adults who are standing at those exact terminals this week without knowing any of this information. A single click from you might be the reason someone else avoids becoming the next George Hadley. The third alert covers something that feels unnecessary until you understand the tech that makes it essential. The ABA presents it without reservation. Shield the keypad using your other hand every single time you type your code. Even if nobody seems to be near, even if you are alone at the terminal, even if it seems unnecessary. Here is why the alone factor matters. Recorded fraud incidents from the first quarter of 2026 involved tiny cameras disguised as part of the ATM frame, angled mirrors placed above the keypad, and recording equipment fixed to structures near the terminal that captured codes from clients who assumed they were entirely unseen. A woman named Patricia Langford in Tampa entered her code at an ATM she had used weekly for 9 years. Nobody was within 50 feet of her. A lens the size of an eraser head, placed inside what seemed to be a paper holder attached to the wall beside the machine, recorded her button presses, combined with a shimmer already seated in the card slot. That footage provided bad actors with total access to her balance. She lost $4,800 before the bank's security software flagged the transfers. The same rule applies inside the branch. When an official staff member assists you with a request requiring your code, that worker is instructed by company protocol to turn away while you type the numbers. That is not courtesy. It is protocol. In most regions, it is a safety mandate under regulatory guidelines for electronic fund transfers. If you are typing your code and the worker does not turn away, you can state directly and politely, "Please turn around while I enter my code." That is your right. Any legitimate institution will honor it immediately. If they do not, ask for the branch supervisor, and that request alone will address the situation right away. Now, I must inform you about the operation that cost American seniors $1.3 billion last year alone. And I need you to realize something concerning about it first. The individuals who fall victim to this are not naive. They are not confused. They are often the sharpest, most careful, most financially organized individuals in their families, and they still lose everything. That reality should alarm you because it proves the operation works on the exact type of person who assumes they would never fall for it. Here's the sequence. You receive a call. The speaker claims to represent the IRS, Social Security, Medicare, or law enforcement. They inform you that your account is compromised, that you owe unpaid taxes under active collection, or that someone stole your identity and your funds must be transferred to a safe spot immediately. They sound professional. They possess your name, your address, and sometimes the last 4 digits of your Social Security number. They are calm, official, and persistent. They create urgency without yelling. They generate fear without threats. Then they provide an instruction. Visit your bank, withdraw physical cash, drive to a digital currency kiosk, and deposit the cash into the terminal using a QR code they send you. They claim this is the only path to protect your assets. The moment you feed those bills into the terminal, they are gone forever. Digital currency transfers are permanent. The funds cannot be traced by your institution. They cannot be held by authorities. They cannot be returned through any dispute process. There is no loss coverage. There is no reimbursement. The cash is gone just as surely as if you set it on fire. Remember Donald Meacham from the start of this video? $47,000. He maintained a federal security clearance for 22 years. He was on the phone with the bad actor while standing at the digital currency machine. The caller remained on the line the whole time, directing him through every step, reassuring him, and thanking him for securing his money. Donald's daughter informed a reporter from the Associated Press that her father wept for 3 days after he realized what occurred. He kept repeating, "I knew better, I knew better." But at that moment, he did not. Indiana became the first state to ban digital currency ATMs completely in March 2026. Tennessee and Minnesota followed within weeks. As of May 2026, 30 states have enacted laws limiting crypto terminal operations with explicit rules targeting this deceptive practice. But those terminals still operate in 20 states with light oversight. Here is the absolute rule. No government agency will ever direct you to withdraw physical cash and feed it into a digital currency machine. Not the IRS, not Social Security, not Medicare, not the FBI, not local police, not under any circumstances, not even during a real emergency. That instruction in any form from any caller is always a scam. Always. There are no exceptions. If you are viewing this and you have an aging parent, a neighbor, or a friend living alone, this is the notice you share with them today. Not next week, today. Because the people executing this tactic contact seniors every morning between 9 and 11 a.m. when they know partners are out and adult children are working. Financial institutions nationwide are now preparing tellers to step in when an older client requests an unusually large cash withdrawal. If a staff member asks why you are taking out significant cash, especially if you hold a phone or appear to follow someone's instructions, answer honestly. They are not being intrusive. They are not invading your privacy. They might be the final person standing between you and a permanent, complete, irreversible loss. The fifth alert returns us to Shirley Okafor. Remember her from the Houston ATM event earlier? After losing $1,800 to the bill trap mechanism, Shirley visited her bank branch the next Monday to challenge the charges. While waiting in the front area, a woman wearing what looked like a bank polo shirt walked up to her, stated she could help resolve the problem faster by updating Shirley's mobile application, and asked to view Shirley's phone. Shirley handed it over. The woman held the device for roughly 45 seconds. She appeared to swipe through several screens, handed it back, smiled, and said everything was updated. The woman was not a bank worker. She had walked in from the parking area wearing a blue shirt that vaguely matched the bank's uniform. Within 3 hours, $6,200 was transferred from Shirley's savings balance to an external account. The woman had added a new approved device to Shirley's profile and loaded a remote access tool that provided ongoing control of Shirley's phone even after she exited the building. Your phone with an active financial application is direct and complete control over every balance linked to that tool. Institutions are now officially warning clients. Your phone remains in your hands inside the bank at all times without exception. Bank staff assist clients by explaining what actions to take and what options to select. You type the data yourself. The staff member guides you verbally. They do not handle your phone. If anyone inside a bank insists they must physically hold your phone to assist you, request the branch supervisor immediately. Any genuine bank employee will respect that request. If the individual pushing to hold your device hesitates to call a manager, that reaction is the clearest indicator that something is wrong. Now, here is a step you can take this week that costs nothing, takes 10 minutes, and could be the call that protects everything. Institutions are now offering, and in some regions are required to offer, what is called a trusted contact setup. This is different from power of attorney, different from a beneficiary. A trusted contact is simply an individual, a family member, a close friend, or an adult child whose name and phone details remain on file with your bank. The trusted contact has zero access to your funds. They cannot execute transactions. They cannot check your balance. They cannot approve withdrawals. They are simply an individual the bank can call if its security system flags suspicious activity on your profile. A retired teacher named Vivian Caldwell in Orlando assigned her daughter as a trusted contact in January. In April, her profile recorded a $9,000 wire transfer she never authorized. The bank called her daughter within 40 minutes. Her daughter contacted Vivian, confirmed it was fraudulent, and the bank stopped the transfer before it cleared. $9,000 saved by a 10-minute form completed 3 months prior. Call your bank on Monday. Ask if they provide a trusted contact setup. If they do, complete it before the weekend. You need only a name and contact number. Here is your plan for the next 5 days. Monday, call your bank and establish a trusted contact setup. Tuesday, examine your ATM for any unusual additions around the card area or cash tray before your next transaction. Wednesday, practice blocking the keypad with your free hand during every code entry, even at the grocery counter. Thursday, remove any voice message from anyone claiming to represent the IRS or Social Security asking for a return call at a number you did not verify on the official site yourself. Friday. Share with one person you care about what happened to Donald Meacham. Tell them the total, $47,000. Share the rule. No government agency will ever ask you to put cash into a digital currency terminal. If you watched this far into this video, you already know more than 90% of seniors entering a bank branch tomorrow morning. But knowledge is not protection. Action is protection. The 10-minute call is protection. The hand over the keypad is protection. The refusal to give up your card, your phone, or your cash to anyone outside a secure counter window, that is protection. Donald Meacham's daughter shared one final detail with the Associated Press. She said, "If someone had shown him a video like this the week before, he would have recognized the call for what it was. He would have hung up." Be the individual who shows someone this video. Subscribe so the next warning reaches you before it reaches the scammers.